But, under the brief but important headline, we will get a ruling in Detroit's bankruptcy right after the election. The 8th version of the plan of adjustment is in. So did you ever think that you would have a final date on your calendar that you could X off the first real week of November, that this is where you're finally going to get the ruling on Detroit's bankruptcy?
I thought we're always headed toward a fall wrap up for the bankruptcy, just based on the pacing. Getting that last creditor to settle, I think, just wiped the last barrier out of the way to doing that. I'm really interested to see I think there's very little question about what Judge Rhodes is going to do. Ruling this quickly almost certainly means that that he's going to approve the grand bargain and the plan of adjustment. But the question is how he does it, and how he does it in a way that sets the city up to succeed in the future. I think there's still real questions about revenue out of that plan. I think he shares some of those concerns. He may also share some concerns about some of these deals to settle. He has sent people back before to do better by the city. So,
what do you think, Nolan?
I was a little surprised. I thought he'd take longer to write this thing, because it is a precedent-setting decision.
But you can't appeal it now because all the creditors have settled. So,
but it will come into play in other bankruptcy. So I thought he'd take a little more time. But this is a guy who's pushed it along. He's been deadline oriented, and I think it's a triumph for the city, a triumph for the federal courts that this thing got done the way it did. A lot of heroes in this process. Foundation communities certainly have to be credited for stepping up. This would not have happened had that money not come in for the grand bargain to save the art. So, as it turns out, the DIA art, having it under threat was a beneficial thing for the city, because it drove people out to rally, to raise the money to save it and get this deal done.
It inspired interesting deals. So once we hear this decision from the judge, what does that mean then on Monday morning, then, after that decision is read?
Well, I think it means that the agreement that was made between the city government and Kevin Orr starts to take shape, and we start to see how that practically plays out. Kevin Orr essentially is not going to be running the city at that point. I talked with the mayor this week. He talked about the hours that he's had to spend every week dealing with lawyers, talking about this bankruptcy proceeding. He gets that time back, and so he will get to actually govern in that time and plan to do things and sort of pay attention to the city's other pressing problems. I think you will see a very different Duggan administration emerge on the other side of this, a sort of fuller governing Duggan administration than we've seen so far.
And I also think, it's too bad this thing's not happening a week earlier, because Rick Snyder deserves a tremendous amount of credit for this. This would not have happened. This would not have happened without his leadership. He was courageous. He was determined. And he was really relentless in pushing this through and making it happen in a way that was the least harmful in Detroit. And in fact, you're going to have a better Detroit come out of this. If we don't screw it up, Detroit is going to be well positioned. $8 billion less debt, $140 million a year more to operate with. It's going to be a lot more positive coming out of bankruptcy than we could have dreamed a year ago.
All right, and we'll be watching. But now to what people are really talking about, the ultimate state grudge match. It's Michigan State this minute, in the last minute that we have left. And I saw those Spartans painted the diag in Ann Arbor. They were not too thrilled with that. I do not support any kind of vandalism whatsoever.
I'm sure.
I do not. I was not.
Can we see your fingernails?
Please. I have
no green
cans
paint?
of green spray paint. But it's going to be a game, Nolan. I know that you like to be neutral.
No, I think it would be a shock if Michigan pulled this one out, and what you're going to have is
Look how serious he is.
A whole lot of whiny Wolverines. Bo Schembechler, Bo Schembechler, Bo Schembechler. That's all you're going to hear this weekend.
All right, you get the last word in 10 seconds.
I will be a Michigan fan my whole life, win or lose, whatever. We are still going to We'll always be Michigan.
He falls asleep. We
always
put one of them
be
green
Michigan.
S's on the back of that head.
That's right. Oh, it's good. It's nice and
Good
short for it.
service.